Cougars Corner is dedicated to promoting the talented athletes and coaches of the SIUE Cougars. Cougars Corner will keep you up to date on everything Cougar Athletics has to offer and give you an insider's perspective into the lives and personalities of the stars that make Cougar Athletics shine. Welcome into Cougars Corner. I'm your host, Colin Surrey. Our guest today was one of the two players to start every game for the Cougars men's basketball team this year. The senior leader led the team in blocks and was 8th in the OVC in blocks per game. He scored a career-high 25 points on a perfect 12 for 12 from the field against UT Martin on February 15th. He's 14th in SIUE history with 104 games played, 10th in career rebounds with 521 boards, 9th in games started, and 4th all-time in blocks with 117. Our guest today, Keenan Simmons.
Nice having you here.
How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Good. I'm so happy to have you here with me. It's going to be a fun interview. We'll just get started off talking about a little bit of your background. How'd you get started playing the game of basketball?
Well, I've been playing basketball since I was like 4 years old, just like little YMCA leagues, and just kept going from there.
Gotcha. So you grew up in Michigan City, Indiana, and went to Michigan City High School.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about the sports culture there.
Well, it was pretty big there. Like every home game, we'll have like a little section called Den Delirium. It'll be like all the students there. They'll dress in crazy outfits and just hype us up at the game. So it was pretty cool just playing there.
That's awesome. And then did you play any other sports other than basketball?
No, just basketball.
Gotcha. One focus. I like it.
Yes.
So, what was your recruiting process like in high school? What were some of the other schools that came after you? How did they go about recruiting you? And then when did the SIUE Cougars come into the picture?
Well, I had a couple other schools like University of Illinois Chicago, Ball State. Those were the two main, but they didn't really bring me on to like a campus visit. But then SIUE saw me my junior year at I think I was at a basketball camp.
Okay.
And they just contacted me and they got me out here like really fast. And just I took a tour of the campus, talked to the coaches, got along with the players, and from there it just went on.
And that was a different coaching regime. Were there any coaches that you particularly vibed with that you really felt like, wow, this is the place that I want to be because of these guys?
Yeah, it was one coach, but he ended up going to another job before I started here, so that's the one that recruited me. But he was really cool. That's the guy that really got me to go here.
So then what went into your thought process? Well, the guy that recruited me is now gone.
Yeah.
Did you ever think about transferring? Were there any thoughts about maybe you didn't want to stay here?
No, not at all. I mean, I just liked the campus, I liked the team, and everything was pretty much a good fit for me.
Right on, right on. So what was your favorite moment, if you had to pick one, from your high school basketball experience?
It'll probably be my senior year when I scored 43 points. Yeah, I had like 10 dunks that game. It was a really hype game, so that was really cool.
So a little bit like that UT Martin game, huh?
Yeah, it was just like that actually.
So what's that feeling like when you're just out there perfect from the field and it's like anytime you get your hands on the ball, you can't do any wrong? What's that feel like?
It's a great feeling. It's just like everything's going in. You just got that groove going on, and my team trusted in me and just went from there.
Very cool, very cool. So now we're going to move into your education here at SIUE. What's your major?
Business administration with a concentration in computer management.
Awesome. And what led you to that field?
I always was interested in business, but technology was my really key focus. I've really been involved with technology my whole life. Been really good with it. My friends can come to me if they have problems with their computers or their phones. So I'm good at fixing things like that. So that's what led me to that.
Okay, so talk to us a little bit about how the technology aspect is integrated into that business field.
Well, basically, so the IT field, you deal with networking and network management, and that deals with business because you have to know how to control a network, and they all come together like that.
Of course. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
So have you had a favorite professor or somebody who's really helped you along and kind of unleashed your passion for that?
Not with that, but I do have a favorite professor. It was freshman year. I had this math teacher. Her name was Miss Simmons, and she was a really cool teacher. She always comes to all the games and stuff, and she still keeps in contact with me to this day.
Well, that's really special when you get a math teacher. I know sometimes it's harder to get the good math teachers, and that's something I've noticed with a lot of the faculty here. I mean, I'll see professors that I have and other administrators that are always at the games and always supporting the team, and it's a fun atmosphere to be a part of here at SIUE.
Yeah,
Definitely. So, what are your academic aspirations after SIUE?
Well, I was thinking about getting my master's in computer management, but I might hold that off for a little bit.
Okay. Have you had, I guess this is sort of similar to your favorite professor, but anyone that's really helped you outside of the classroom? Because I know for me it's been just amazing having some of these people help me with what I want to do with my career.
Right.
It's great to get that help in the classroom, of course, but a little more of that real world experience. Anyone like that for you?
Yeah, I had a couple mentors. One was Dr. Janice Joplin. She's the head of the business, and Dr. Vanessa Brown. She really helped me a lot with a lot of things, helping me just keep me motivated. You know, sometimes we'll have like down games, but she'll always send me a text, tell me just keep going, keep playing hard. So they're really important in my process here.
That's awesome. That's great. So now moving on to basketball. We're going to start off a little bit lighthearted here. You have a favorite NBA team?
Yeah, the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh, it's the OKC Thunder. So you're pretty excited about them going from almost out of the playoffs all the way up to that 4 seed now all of a sudden,
it was exciting. I got kind of nervous there for a second, but I think we're good now.
Gotcha. So you have a favorite player on the squad, or
Probably Russell Westbrook.
Westbrook? Of course, you have to. You have to, man. That motor is just unbelievable on that guy.
Yep.
Definitely. So, what were your thoughts on the OVC season, or not the OVC season, but the season overall, and then making it back into the OVC tournament for the first time in 3 years?
I think it was really good. We made a lot of improvements, added some key players, and that really led to us going to making it to the OVC tournament.
So, are there any funny stories that you might have with some of your teammates or some of the coaches over, maybe not even this past year, but down the road?
Yeah, so I think it was a couple years ago. We had this thing called Cougar Madness, and like we'll do our introductions. Like we had music coming out with like music, like dance a little bit, whatever.
Okay.
So Coach Harris came out. He was dressed as Michael Jackson. So he was dancing and stuff. So that was pretty funny. I think that was probably the funniest moment I had.
And I know Jalen probably enjoyed that because I know he's a huge MJ fan.
Yeah,
Huh?
he loves MJ.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, talk to us a little bit about your development as a player over the 4 years as a Cougar. Has your role with the team changed at all? I know, being 6'6", maybe you weren't necessarily recruited to play that 5 spot, but you really grew into that center position over the last few years here.
Yeah, it was an adjustment because in high school I was mostly playing like a guard. You know,
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
When I got here freshman year, they kind of moved me to that 4-5 spot. It was kind of uncomfortable at first, so I really didn't do that well freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
But when Coach Harris came, you know, I really worked on it, got stronger, you know, developed my skills in the paint. So that's what helped me a lot.
Okay, very cool. So, what do you have any kind of, I don't know, a definition for like what the different personalities of the assistant coaches are? I know Jalen was telling me about how Coach Barone, you know, he gets hyped apparently, which, you know, we're out on the court and he just looks like he is straight face, like all business, you know, but there's a little bit of a different side to some of those guys, huh?
Yeah, so with him, really, like he said, he's really intense, very intense. You might not see it at first, but he's intense. Coach Bubba, he's more laid back, but he can get intense as well. Coach Crump, he's really personal, so, you know, he'll take you off to the side and, like, talk to you one-on-one. And then Coach Harris is, like, you know, cool, calm. But he will get mad, start yelling quick if you do something wrong.
Yeah, definitely. That's something that I really admire about Coach Harris is in that moment he's not afraid to get upset or tell you what's going on or what might have been the mistake that was made. But the minute that you guys go back to that huddle and there's a timeout, he is moving forward.
Yeah.
That is totally out of his mind. He's not upset at you guys. He's completely focused on what needs to be done to win the game moving forward.
That's what I love about him the most, really. You know?
Very cool, very cool. So we talked a little bit about Coach Harris so far. Do you have any stories or moments that really stick out to you with him?
Well, that one moment that I just told you about the Michael Jackson thing, but like on the court, I really think this year the most. He really like locked in with us, and you know he worked us very hard, and he believed in us, and that's how we got to the OVC tournament. And they're gonna keep on doing good after this year.
So he's one of those guys in practice where he's really driving you guys to make that last sprint, that last hard move to the basketball.
Yeah, all the time. You know, he really works us hard, and really it paid off. So. I really appreciate it.
It certainly did. You guys had a great season this year. So were there any younger guys on the team that you kind of took under your wing and paid kind of special attention to throughout the season?
I think the freshman DJ Jackson, I think I really connected with him a lot because like he was kind of in my position. You know, he used to play a guard, you know, on the wing a lot. Then he played like in the paint. So in practice, he would mostly guard me a lot. So, you know, I'll just, you know, work him hard, you know. I wouldn't take it easy on him, man. I think that really developed him. He seemed like he's getting better, so really
Yeah,
proud of him.
And I've definitely noticed with DJ, he's got a real vibrant personality. It seems like he vibes with almost everyone on the team. And something I'm also very impressed by with him, he's got a nice filled-out frame for a freshman. I mean, the potential moving forward for what he can do, developing into that bigger guy, maybe a more undersized in terms of height-wise, but then still being big and playing big down low like you have throughout your career.
I think that's going to be his role for real.
Definitely, very cool. So, what's going through your mind? We've already talked about this a little bit. When you're 12 for 12 from the field. I mean, it's one thing you go off for 43 points in high school, but you're playing Division I basketball at the collegiate level. In that first half against UT Martin was just unreal. I mean, I didn't have a chance to actually see it, but I remember listening to it on the radio with Joe Pott and him just going nuts with you going off out there on the court. What was that game like?
It was amazing. I mean, I kind of knew it after I took that first shot. I was like, yeah, this is going to be a good game. You just have that feeling, you know, like you're just going to play good. I just went from there, really. Just took off.
Gotcha. So you nearly averaged a double-double over your last 8 games.
Right.
You were at 10.4 and 8.3 rebounds, 10.4 points, 8.3 rebounds. What led to you kind of catching fire at the end of the year like that?
I think just really realizing that, you know, this is about to be my last little go-around in basketball. So I just, like, locked in at practice and really focused on my game and just... That's how I just went from there.
Well, it certainly paid off. It was an impressive performance down the stretch, and it helped your team make it into that tournament, like I said, for the first time in 3 years. Had to be a great feeling for you guys.
It was an amazing feeling.
Definitely. So, you were kind of the heart and soul of this SIUE defensive team.
Right.
You're the human eraser down there, really making sure that you protect that rim.
Right.
Talk to us a little bit about the pride you take on the defensive end and what it takes to be an elite shot blocker like you were 4th all-time in SIUE history.
Well, really, I just keep this in my head, you know, defense leads to offense. So I really take pride in that. Even in high school, I took pride in that. Always playing defense first because that's going to lead to offense. You know, this is exciting just going up and blocking shots. And like you said, to be an elite shot blocker, you really just have to be quick on your feet. You know, you have to have good timing. I think that's what really is key to being an elite shot blocker.
And you and Jalen Henry were the only 2 seniors on this team this year. What were your responsibilities and leadership roles compared to past years?
Yeah, it was a lot more than past years because, like you said, we were the only 2 seniors. You know, we just had to really motivate those guys. You know, it was a lot of new guys, a lot of young guys, and we just had to push those guys, you know, lead by example, and that's what we did.
Well, you certainly led by example in an excellent senior class. Even if it's only 2 guys, you both definitely set the tone for this team, so I was very impressed by that. Did you have a favorite moment from this season on or off the court?
I'll say on the court, just making it to that OVC tournament, you know, just seeing all the work that we put in from the summertime to the springtime, and just all that paying off and us making that turnaround was very cool.
And I think that answer says a lot about your personality and who you are, just because how many guys would tell you, oh, my favorite moment was when I went off in that one game, you know?
Definitely.
Your favorite moment is that you had that team goal and you made it to the OVC tournament again for the first time in 3 years. That had to be just a huge weight lifted off of all of your shoulders and a great feeling to get back into that tournament.
Yeah, it really was. It was an amazing feeling.
So what kind of legacy do you hope to leave for future players as you now are graduating after this semester at SIUE?
Just, like I said, just leading by example, just showing them how I had that leadership ability, you know, just helping this team, like, go to that tournament. And I think it really started with us, me and Jalen, you know. We made it to that tournament, and I think they're going to make it even farther in the next couple of years.
I agree completely. There's some really nice players coming up, and it helps especially when they have that leadership to grow under with you and Jalen.
Right.
So do you have any professional basketball aspirations, and if not, what do you plan on doing after graduation?
Probably not any professional basketball aspirations, but I really just plan on pursuing my career in the IT field, so I'm going to stay down in the St. Louis area and just get things together with that.
And it sounds like you're really into all that, and that makes me excited for you, man. I'm super stoked about what you've done here in your career as a basketball player, and then what you plan to do moving forward. I'll definitely make sure that I keep in tune to what Keenan Simmons is doing in the future here.
Thanks. I appreciate it a lot.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining me here today, man.
Thanks for having me.
All right, that's it for Cougars Corner. We'll be back next week with another new guest. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody.